Day?
See you in the national scene sometime.
Maybe one day.
You will. I know you will.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the consideration and everything else. Have a nice night, everyone.
Thank you. Ms. Ellis, thank you for coming. Okay, moving right along here. Are you still with us, Mr. Ferguson?
Hanging right in there.
How about you, Mr. Smith?
I'm hanging too.
All right. Okay. Dave Ferguson, our architect. We can see him in. The floor is yours, Dave.
I think Mr. Midkiff has passed out the bond. 15-year vote.
You're like,
This is 20 years.
Thanks.
Did he give you the 15?
Thank you.
These are the levy rates for 15 years.
memorize all of them.
That's right. And the levy rate. I didn't get Sean. Sorry, Sean.
You know it has something to do with money. Cup of coffee?
Yes, already
down
got
there.
that.
Anybody want one?
Coffee? No?
Better not.
We'll take a break.
Yeah, this is the definitions for
You'll be up all night.
different classes.
I can't get out of here, right?
The definition for the different classes.
Yes. Yeah, right here.
However you want to do it.
Yeah, I think I have.
That's a bunch of what it is. Assistant about finished.
All right, you still a lot of paperwork.
We can tell.
Well, you should have the order of the bond order draft for the 15-year, 20-year, and 25-year version, whichever one you would choose to go with, from your bond counsel in front of you, as well as the levy rates from your financial advisor for the 15, 20, 25 years. I think once you choose one, your financial advisor should be able to break those levy rates down per month. So when you go to advertise the bond, it looks that they can break it down a little bit further for you, because a lot of counties will put that in handouts so that the citizens can actually see how it's affecting. And I can bring samples of that that we've done in the past. The bond is for $24 million. projects. You all have, in each of those bond calls or sample 15, for each of those versions have the bond call listed the same. And if you would like me to go through those, I will, in case you
Yes, if you would, please. There might be some questions.
Okay. The first, these are in no particular order by any means. I'll just go through the projects. The new Midway Duval Elementary School would be the construction and equipping of a new elementary school to serve approximately 601 students from both Midway Elementary and Duval Elementary, to be located at a site in the vicinity of Samarico Mountain area. This project will be $1 million from the bond and $17 million from the SBA. The second project would be a new Guyan Valley 6 through 8 school, construction, demolition, and equipping of a new middle school to serve approximately 276 students, grades 6 through 8, to be located at the existing Guyan Middle School site. This project would be totally bond funded at $12 million. The West Hamlin Elementary School project consists of renovations and additions, consisting but not limited to classrooms and restrooms at the existing West Hamlin Elementary School site for $1,700,000. The Lincoln County High School project includes new athletic facilities, but not limited to new football field, grandstands, press box, a running track, additional improvements to tennis, soccer, baseball, and softball fields. And that is at the existing Lincoln County High School site for a total of $6,300,000. The Harts Pre-K-8 school project consists of additional classrooms, storage rooms, playground equipment, outside basketball court, additional parking, and additional improvements to the existing football field, existing football bleachers, and existing football locker rooms at the older existing site. And this is at the existing pre-K-8 school site, and also at the existing hospital, the old hospital, which consists of $3 million. And that is all bond proceeds, for a total of $24 million bond proceeds, $17 million from the SBA grant, for a total project cost of $41 million. Now those projects, they do not change per 15, 20, 25 year. It's all the same projects. It's just how you want your interest rates to be allocated and paid.
How we want to fund
How
it.
you want to fund it.
Is this the appropriate time for members of the board to ask questions about any of those?
Yes.
Do you all have any questions about any particular project?
Yeah, I have a question.
Mr. Kerr?
Up at Hart's School, existing football lockers, are they now in the old high school building, or are they separate from the high school?
They're in the old building.
They're in the old building.
So these are really locker rooms, not necessarily just for football, right?
That's true.
I mean, like for basketball now, is that the same one? Other question here?
The Guyan Valley, is that a new gym?
There is money in there for a new gym or renovating the old gym. However we want to do it, we would like to go back at a future date, and after hopefully the bond passes, go in there and meet with the committee at that school and see what they would like to do a structural analysis on the gym, make sure it's feasible to sound at that time. And if the committee wants to save it, there's money in there to save that gym. But it would depend on how that would dictate more on how the school sets the new facility be designed around that existing gymnasium, or we can build a new gym with the money we have in the bond for that school.
Well, I think the general sentiment of the board is going to be that we have a new gym. We've never voted on that, but just I see heads. So that was one of the things that Mr. McAllister said I was going to ask. You know, seeing that we had a precise amount of $12 million, was that to build, you know, renovating or
Yes.
building a new?
Yeah, the money in there now is for a new gymnasium.
Is there money in there to tear down the old
Yes.
building?
Yes.
Money in there?
The money in there is to tear down the old building and build a new facility. But of course, the old building come down after the fact and make sure that we can do everything we can.
But that wouldn't have any impact, I'm assuming a new one would cost more than renovating.
Not necessarily.
Oh, well, wrong assumption.
Depends on how many problems the old one has. And issue, a lot of times you get into old buildings and trying to attach to an old building, you end up spending more money than you would by having a new.
I'm totally against building a new school, 160-year-old gym. And I think we the people needs to know whether we're getting a new gym or not before we vote on bond also.
We can change the language of that to have a whole new facility, and what we can say is demolition of the existing facility.
I think that would be the sentiment for what we were desiring. But by doing that, I guess what I was wondering is, we're equipping and things like that, that wouldn't have any
Equipping, when I would say equipping, I'm talking about furniture, basketball goals, everything that goes into the new facility.
Right. Well, that's what I mean. If you build a new gym and it costs more, and that's an assumption I'm making, that we wouldn't be losing, have the possibility of not being able to fully equip the school or something like that.
We have $12 million in this facility, and that's plenty of money to build a new school,
Including the new gym.
Including the new gym. Because what we did was we took the typical formula is you take the number of students, the square footage number for those number of students for any new facility, which includes every aspect of the school, and you multiply that by that figure, and then you multiply that by a dollar amount, and then we added money for demolition for the new facility, for the existing facility.
Anything else? At West Hamlin, we talked about renovation and additions, but if we say classrooms, does this specify how many classrooms? I'm just wondering if, as we go into the process here, people in the community, they want to know that. Do we know that?
We have, when we met with the community out there, they talked about 4 classrooms, restrooms, and a special ed room. That's what we figured around. We added the square footage for circulation, and within that money, there's also money for furniture, and that cost per square foot. The reason why it's listed that way, a lot of times, if we say 4 classrooms, and if sentiment changes to no, we need 3, if we put 4, you have to build 4. Whether they need 4 or they need 5, you have to build 4. The way it's worded now, if the need for now is 4 and we get to the bond and we can squeeze in another one, you're not deviating from your bond call.
You see what I'm saying? When we have a community meeting, we're talking about adding classrooms, we want to be able to say, well, we're going to add 4 classrooms and a special education room.
We have 4 classrooms, restrooms for the 4, wherever we have 4 classrooms, we need more restrooms. And then we had a 1,000 square foot special ed.
Yeah, we certainly know we need restrooms. We have that need there before.
I can change the West Hamlin to say exactly that if you like.
No, I just want to make sure that as we have meetings, that we can answer that question.
Okay.
You know, but I understand at the same time that you have to have some flexibility. That we're having meetings where we want to tell the public what our plans are. I don't know, maybe there are times when people decide they don't need as many rooms, but I've never.
Well, a lot of folks, they want to be able to meet the bond call because they know it's a legal document. And whatever you put in here, you have to meet.
Oh, I understand that.
If something happens and we have something that's way over budget because the economy spikes and building costs go through the roof, matter, if you say 4 classrooms on here, you have to go 4 classrooms. If it's $600,000 over the budget, you have to come up with that money. So, you have to be responsible. So.
We understand that. That's good. We want
But
to
that,
get
I mean,
answer
but we have, the way I come up with the figure was adding those 4 classrooms, restrooms, special ed, and then we added some square footage for circulation, corridors, and that sort of thing.
What about parks? Do you have a number for that school?
Parks. We added,
Yeah, I just asked for the same reason.
right. They talked about 4 classrooms at Parks, 4 classrooms, and there's some other circulation space with that. Within the circulation space, we added restrooms for that as well.
The 4 is the ideal of what we're shooting.
4 classrooms is what they were shooting for, with storage rooms and the outside basketball court. We put money in there for additional parking spaces and the outside play structure. They talked about an outside playground equipment. They wanted the playground equipment. We would add the classrooms on the playground side of the building, and we would, on the other side of the building where the gymnasium is, we talked about adding storage. We could add a little bit of space there between that drive and the kitchen back to the mechanical area. And then we talked about filling in that drainage ditch some more, adding more space below that cemetery in the parking lot, and adding more parking toward the river on the other side of the park.
Now, but at Hearts, we aren't envisioning having to acquire any more land.
No land purchase at all. Just a cemetery.
You started talking about that little ravine.
No, that's the, it's the ravine between the cemetery and the river.
I was thinking about anything else on that?
No.
I have a little bit of concern about what we're gonna do with the building up there. I'm just afraid somebody might get it and won't keep it up. Put the lockers and everything in their dressing rooms, and then won't be able to use it. It's leaking on that side.
I know when we were there the other night, they brought up the fact that they wanted to renovate those spaces. And I don't know, they said at the Hearts, the existing Hearts school, the old Hearts school, they wanted to renovate the locker rooms and the grandstands. I don't remember what shape the locker rooms were in, other than they talked about the lockers, shower and finishes and those kind of things to make the space better than it is.
There's not room up there to put it like a dressing room, locker rooms, and just out by the field.
Well, I guess you could, maybe out there where the annex is up there. It's a possibility, something to look at.
I think the question, somebody brought up the question is what they were going to do with that old building. Because the sewer plant keeps shutting down because of the control system.
But still, we're gonna need the locker room for basketball.
Yes, well, when you
So,
amazing.
As far as our long-term use of the building, eventually we're going to have to address that probably pretty soon. If we ever said we were, I agree with what Fred said too. As far as using the light, the reason I said a while ago, the lockers are just football, because I thought maybe something was being
So I think
considered.
I guess their intent was to use it for football, but I think they used it for basketball.
Right. That's why when I first saw it, I thought maybe you were thinking about the girls said they maybe you're going to build a separate facility just for that.
It was renovated.
Just renovate what's there. Let's go to the high school for a second then. Is there any parking being considered for the high school? What, are we thinking just the existing parking is adequate, or is that been?
That was never brought up. Depending on how the football field situates, I mean, we could probably.
I'm just asking the question.
It was never brought up.
I mean, it needs a meeting, so.
So I don't know how it's advertised.
Forget how many, when we built that school, how much parking we
I know it was, had a little bit more than what the school uses, and then you have that community college area that exceeds the school use, so you have that overflow. And I don't know. I don't remember.
We've never really seen the layout of where everything is going to be there.
Well, there's a drawing floating around. Dana might have a copy of it. Years ago, we did something. We did one as you face the building, the football field, the stadium is on the right, and then the Uncu installed the baseball and softball down where we showed it.
Do you know where they were wanting us to consider building the police barracks, state police barracks thing?
They had asked there were near where the football stadium is.
Well, I mean, where they were proposing or wanting to do that is the football field.
It would take that in, I would think.
Would it take that in?
Certainly would be machines. You know, I would think would be the additional parking lot.
Well, that's what I was saying. I'm trying to,
I thought that's what we discussed.
yeah,
About that.
that's one of the reasons we didn't want to do that.
I don't think there's room for
Wouldn't be room for
parking
parking.
room for it.
So-
I mean, it's kind of tight. I mean,
So
it'll
the-
fit. It's tight.
Right, so the football stadium field itself is going to,
Yes.
Take
Take
some up.
every bit of that.
anybody have anything else regarding the projects themselves? Everything sounds pretty good on this version. We're glad that the SBA, I noticed there on one of the earlier pages that everything's contingent upon the SBA, that they receive the money from them. I'm glad that's your property. What is it below?
Well, that's why they like to see your bond vote prior to their vote. Makes them feel a bit better and have that community input. Vote, yes, we're willing to pass the bond, we're willing to give us.
But that goes both ways. We can also utilize that when we're talking to the public, saying, you know, we've got.
And they don't have a problem with that. They want you to pass that bond.
So now, we're at the point now where if we're agreeable, you know, with the content of just this, trying to make a decision on the number of years that the bond would run, is that right, Jason? That's correct.
And the date, which our bond council has given us a date to look at this evening. February 23rd.
February 23rd. Okay. If you would direct us now, what would you like us to do?
The next step would be to approve the bond call.
To approve the bond call, which is actually the list of projects. And if you want to check, the only thing I'm hearing from you is to make it a little more clear at Diamond Valley that we will be building a new gymnasium and tearing down the old facility. And we can make that correction. I can email that to your bond counsel. He can modify whichever you choose, and whichever term, whichever year bond call you choose, and get the official document to certain clerk and back to you all.
Is this something that we are going to vote on tonight, or is this something that's going to be prepared and sent to us for our next meeting?
Tonight.
Okay. Well, I just want to make sure I understand the logistics of what we're doing. So, when we vote on this, when there's a motion and something to pass, it would be, as stated in what you've given us here, with the exception of the Guy Valley Gym, right?
Yes.
So everything else would be as stated. It's over. It's
The
like,
numbers don't change, it's just the few terms of guidelines.
all right.
And in this vote, at the same time, are they to vote on the number of years?
That will affect your levy rates, whichever years you choose. But each of those are the same except for the number of years.
So what, will this be one motion that will state 15, 20, 25 years? Or do you see these separate motions?
I believe one motion will.
One motion just
Entire,
started that.
entire game.
Well, Mr. Ferguson, I think maybe, are you going to address some of the costs, the differences among the
What you
three?
have there is our financial advisor ran these numbers for us, and as Dave indicated, eventually, once we decide how many years it's going to be, they should break that out even farther in terms of what it would cost a taxpayer per month, per week, what it looks like per day, so that we've got a really good description when we meet with our folks out there in the communities, what it's going to cost them. But if you look at the tax levy rate calculation for 15 years, and if you turn to the second page, where it says Class 2 residential homes, owner-occupied farms, that's what most of our taxpayer citizens live in reside in their home, their dwelling. So if you look at, for example, appraised value of $60,000, of course it's assessed at 60% of that, which is $36,000. Taxpayer will be looking at an additional $117.94 a year.
So that is the increase.
That's how much of an increase in taxes.
It's less than $10 a month.
That's something that, you know, time comes to break that
Many
out.
of the people bring this difference there.
And if you look at the third page, you know, that page talks about those folks who have a homestead exemption, which we have a great number of taxpayers in the county who actually get the homestead exemption. Same $60,000 appraised value. For that taxpayer, we're looking at an additional $52 per year if they get the homestead exemption.
Jeff, what constitutes the homestead exemption?
So it's 65 years.
It's able for 65.
Right.
Okay, just want to state that.
At one time, there was somebody given me a percentage, I can't remember who it was.